Is the diamond ring I sold on Facebook Marketplace. It was listed for 400, but I put it down to 200 because people in the area couldn't even afford that much. They kept wanting lower. It was up for sale for maybe 4+ months, and the person who got it drove from across the state over 3 hours. And so I paid this bill with it, collection of water bills. The first two got the adjustment because you get one pool fill up a year and one leak adjustment a year. And in January, it's supposed to go up even further because they have it piped in from further town. So they say they have nothing to do with it. But then I guess our toilet upstairs was running, so we had a broken toilet and we didn't realize it. So we got a bill for 1 month for 538. It does include the septic, but the way they estimate the septic is there's no measure for it. That just however much water you use, your septic also goes up that high.
Here is the first stage of rainwater harvesting. So this can also act as a mikvah, and we can extend that window into a door, which would be the only entrance. So it starts with these gutters. I want to just extend this downspout to come straight into here. And then there's a downspout on the other side. I want a hose that collects all of it and probably comes down from the ceiling. At least one of them I want to come down from the roof here and make it cool, like coming down in a copper pot. Another bird bass. It flows from one dish to the other. And so it's covered so it can stay warm in the wintertime and not get leaves in it. And then it goes from here, where it has a filter, where there's a hose hookup. The pool comes with a hose thing. So hopefully the hose will connect there. And I've got the hose here. And then there's a little hole in the house that was like a ventilation window thing. This back here, that the hose is going under into the basement. So also over here from the sump pump, we had a pipe coming in that went into this 30-foot deep cistern down here. And I took part of the pipe and put it in the concrete down here to make like a outdoor shower area, even though it's kind of indoors. And then the rest of this I want to redirect, put holes in it to come into this garden area, because this would be like a greenhouse underneath here. And then this gutter, I want to have a 2-hose extension that comes and catches most of the water and comes down to the outdoor shower, and also have a sink and toilet area that's like a composting kind of toilet that has like a giant kidney next to the pool there. And then the remainder of the water can come down, kind of preferably into a bucket that the birds can access with the little nipples, and then the rest of it go down into the cistern. So not the sump pump water going into the cistern anymore, but the cleaner water. I'd have to clean it all out. And then I have the gutter extension that can come from here, and it's a movable hose, so it can fill up this messy pool that Judah can do whatever he wants with, and also a hot tub, so it's a movable hose for that area. So this is what I have in the basement. This part I want to replace with this 3-way hookup. So hopefully it will all work, where the end of the hose, these are all female ends, can hook up here, and then the hose, I had it pulled out, but then Judah pulled it back out. So it's back here, and I've got to get a little hook and pull it back out here. So once it rains in a couple weeks, we can switch this so we can keep changing it. We can use the city town water if we want to and also switch it back to the hose when we want to. This is what it looks like downstairs with a hose hooked up to this pressure pump, and then it goes here. So right here I have a 3-way hookup that has a knob that you can turn on and off. And also this goes out to the city water. And it would have cost me $400 because I couldn't get this part off to put this part in for a plumber to come do it. So instead, this cost me $40 in parts. I just got cutters for it and a sizer thing. So that's all it took. They were gonna charge me that much for $40 in parts, and they would have already had some of those parts. Here is the rainwater mikvah. So this door closes. It's made out of a pink insulation board, and it's connected on the back with room dividers that I got off of when I pulled up the carpet, so I didn't need them, but you can just use washer or something so the screws don't go through. And this is composting toilet setup. So the way a composting toilet works is you need to separate number 1 from number 2. So this is just a broken toilet, and I have storage in the back, which is powder that helps break down number 2. Don't worry, this is empty. And it's got like a secret door to go out to the greenhouse. Guinea's getting nice and big, and some chickens. So it has some good ventilation. And I want to get a hand washing container here that can be rinsed down into this toilet, and there's just a hole in the ground is all that it is. It goes directly onto the grass. So even when the water's cold, you could lay out here, and it's got gutter supply from 2 gutters, and this gutter I want to cut off and make it be for the shower area. So I want to have a stacked up 2 rainwater barrels behind this, and then it would enter in the top one, and the bottom one would be the overflow from the top one that would go to water hopefully blueberry bushes. So we have a kiwi here, and I'd have to get a male kiwi over here. This is floor epoxy, and there's powder you can add to it, and we put little shelves in the ground. So there's a drain here for a shower area. I just like that it's simple and self-sufficient. Solar powered lights. There's 1 pump, and I got a fountain to put in here, and a couple days of good rain will fill up this pool. It seems to only have a good rain once a month around here, but we just found out that our town has the entire town cut off from water for at least a week because the town nearby that's supplying it, their place burned down. And I would have been able to do better with the waves if I had a heat gun, but I was cheap and tried to use a hair dryer, and it didn't really do really good waves, but I'm happy with it. For the water, I have this copper ionizer, I guess, that runs off the solar power, and a couple like barley bales, I think, that are supposed to float to help cleanse the water, and put baking soda in it. I haven't put any other chemicals in there because I want it to be able to be drunk. And I have a filter to put underneath the kitchen sink. So what happens is I switched from this hose, the flat hose, because the water pressure pump wasn't working good. So you want as short a hose as possible if you're using a water pressure pump. So it pulls it from here. And I couldn't hook it up there. There's a hose hookup down there. But this is the male end, so to hook it up to the pressure washer I needed to use the other end for that, so it works. This is what the fourth gutter does. It's filled up this pool just with one gutter. Final thing I'll show you, this filter. It has a UV light which kills harmful bacteria and algae. It also filters. So I have 2 filters going, and I also got some seeds, these seeds for water lilies. So hopefully between all these things it just is enough to create clean water without using chemicals. And even though it's gotten down below 19 degrees Fahrenheit, hasn't frozen in here. And I'm waiting for gutter covers so the water can be cleaner. But this is what a good rain can do. This was empty basically yesterday, just a couple buckets in there. So this is a nice place, like a yoga mat, a bench,